Part 7 opens with a Jason kill highlight reel, which makes for a nice change from the typical recaps we got in earlier films. Tina, a young girl, witnesses her father hit her mother in a drunken rage. She runs out of the house and gets into a boat. Her father comes out, promising her he's sorry and begging for her to come back. Tina reaches a peak of emotion. She causes the pier her father is standing on to collapse. He ends up drowning into the lake, much to Tina's guilt. Fast forward years later, Tina and her mother are on their way to their holiday home where Dr. Cruz is waiting for them. Dr. Cruz feels the institution setting isn't suitable for Tina and wants to help her keep her abilities in check. But it turns out Dr. Cruz pushes Tina to an emotional brink that she ends up bringing back Jason Voorhees. Meanwhile, a group of partiers are next door to Tina, her mother, and Dr. Cruz. They've all been gathered to celebrate the birthday of a friend of theirs, Michael. Among the group is aspiring science fiction writer Eddie, preppy snob Melissa, Michael's brother Nick, and others. When there are drugs, sex, and debauchery in general, Jason Voorhees is not far behind. Eventually, it comes down to Tina face-to-face with Jason in a battle that resembles the classic Monster Mash battles of yesteryear between the Universal monsters. In this case, we essentially have Carrie meets Jason, and I absolutely loved it. This may very well be my favorite entry in the series. I grew up on old-school monsters, and this was right up my alley. And it is this element that turned off some fans to this entry. It is a matter of personal taste. I enjoyed the psychological thriller element of Part 5, yet a lot of people really hate that one. Many enjoyed the comedic elements of Part 6, but I found it to be too much sometimes. Part 7 manages to ride that line between homage to Universal horror and its own slasher roots. For some, that is a step too far. Harry Manfredini composes the music in collaboration with Fred Mullen, but this one is very different from the other scores. The heavy synth percussion recalls Brad Fiddel's work on James Cameron's The Terminator. Overall, the score seems to reflect more Tina's character than Jason, as was the case for previous films. The makeup effects in this film made for some impressive kills, which shouldn't be a surprise considering the film's director, John Carl Buechler, handled the effects. Buechler got his start with the original Troll film, the precursor to the infamous Italian sequel from Claudio Fragasso. We get some really good ones, some of which just seem to come out of nowhere. You get the typical ones like a machete, a sickle, an axe to the face, a kitchen knife, some pretty basic stuff. But there are plenty that stand out. The bill hook is a nice callback to the weapon of the killer in Mario Bava's Bay of Blood, which without that film we wouldn't have Friday the 13th. The tree saw is absurd and you have no idea where Jason found it. He just appears with it. Most importantly, we get the signature sleeping bag kill. I prefer the version where Jason repeatedly slams the sleeping bag against the tree. I just don't buy the idea that one hit is enough to kill someone. Speaking of the effects, the decomposition makeup on Jason is very detailed, but having a muscular stuntman like Kane Hodder doesn't help the effect. You need a thinner actor like Bob Ivy, who played the mummy in Bubba Hotep, to pull off the rotting corpse Jason more effectively. Speaking of Kane Hodder, this is the first film where he played Jason. The actor who is frequently associated with this character, this is where he got his start. Like I said before, Richard Brooker, who played Jason in Part 3, was Kane Hodder before Kane Hodder, but Hodder is beloved as the famed killer, and he makes the most of the screen time. Solid casting in this film. The supporting cast with William Butler, Jeff Bennett, and Susan Jennifer Sullivan make for amusing Jason fodder. Butler will be recognized by fans of the Tom Savini-directed remake of Night of the Living Dead. Terry Kaiser as Dr. Cruz makes for a great villain. To me, he's worse than Jason. He gets Tina's mother killed just to save his own skin. Kaiser is a joy to watch. This was a year before his star-making turn as Bernie Lomax in the first Weekend at Bernie's. Lars Park Lincoln as Tina gives a great performance. Her take on a girl with unchecked power adds mystique to her character, and it makes all the more interesting when she is challenging Jason. She really gives him a fight. This take on a superpowered girl is what I would expect from the upcoming New Mutants with Maisie Williams. That is, of course, if it's still even going to happen. I love this movie. It's my favorite of the series. It continues the spirit of fun from the previous film. What's not to enjoy from Friday the 13th Part 7?